Alright, back in the garage working on 38 pickup. I was going to do the wiring harness in the next video, but honestly, I was looking at it this morning. There's a couple things still need to get done before I can really get the wiring harness squared away and ready to go, ready for the cab to go on. So I'm going to go ahead and touch up a couple other things today, try and get a couple other things done. One of those is the remote oil filter mount. Being that we moved the engine back, moved it over, I have to relocate the oil filter. There's not enough room for it in there. So that's one thing I got to work on. I finally have all the pieces to do it. So I think that's what I'm going to work on today. I need to do that before I can put in the cam synchronizer. I don't want to put in the cam synchronizer yet because I need to prime the oil pump. I can't do that without an oil filter and stuff. So I'm going to do that part today, I think. And we'll see how that goes. Alright, so here's the pieces that I bought. Standard spin-on adapter. Some applications you may have to change the piece that the factory puts in the block. This one is actually for an oil cooler. This is the style that would normally be screwed into the side of the engine block that would house the oil filter. And that's what this screws onto. So I actually had to buy this piece separate because my block had the other style fitting in it. One other thing to watch for on this oil filter mount, some of these, you notice this piece here, it's shorter on one side than the other. If you screw this in backwards and screw it all the way down, you close off the passage almost. That could be really restrictive in some cases and cause engine failures. So you always got to watch and make sure that you put that piece in the right side. So screw in the short side. Those knurled threads should lock in there. And then screw your filter on. It should be good to go. So I need to find a place to mount this and figure out how I'm going to mount this. This piece is obviously really easy. So lube the O-ring, snug it down like an oil filter, and you're done. Alright, actually first thing I'm just going to go ahead and put this oil filter adapter on. I'll screw this piece in the block. Go ahead and snug this up. This doesn't have to be tight. Not super tight, snug. Snug enough that it's not going to come off. And our adapter. And just wipe that fresh oil. And that just screws on there like so. So I'm just going to go ahead and use my oil filter wrench. Go ahead and snug this down. I want to go too tight, but I kind of want to make it tight. Alright. The oil filter is going to go right here. Just like this. Alright, went ahead and cut me a flat plate. Made a mounting bracket. This is going to go right here. Just like that. Just like that right there. Right there. think that should be good. Okay. All right. So, yeah. Now I can take that off and weld it. Not too shabby. I think it'll hold it there. Now I'll let that cool down. I'll touch the paint up. All right, just like new. There it is. All right, so I talked through putting this whole fitting in here, and apparently my camera wasn't recording. But you want to make sure that when these go in, that they don't go all the way in and bottom out and block the holes off, just like on the, just like with the other piece. And then I'm just gonna go in here and get all these glued in, get all these fittings on, and then we can make the hoses. I like to make sure I get quite a bit of it on there. These fittings tend to screw in kind of deep into these adapters. I'm not sure why, but I like to go ahead and get some in here too. Kind of want to be careful you don't get a whole bunch down in there like that. But I do like to get it in the threads on both sides. Wipe my hands off here. Anyway, I think this is a much cleaner look. All right, I'm going to finish this up, do the same thing on the adapter side, and then we'll get the hoses made. All right, so once you get your AN fitting on finally, yeah, look at that blister forming. I've been at this almost 2 hours now with these AN fittings. I've never, honestly, in my life had such a hard time with AN fittings. But anyway, once you do get it on one end, I usually leave myself a little bit of room like that. I'll mark it with tape where I want to cut it, and then I'll cut it right in the middle of the tape. Usually works out pretty good. Okay, so after about, I don't know, 2 hours, around 2 hours messing with AN fittings, there's a blister on my finger from pushing on them. My whole hand hurts right here from pushing on those fittings. I don't know why, but I had such a hard time getting those ones started. I've put on a lot of AN fittings in my day, and I've never had that kind of problem. But anyway, it came out looking pretty good. It says to wait 24 hours for this sealant to dry. So so I'm not going to do anything with it yet. I'm not going to put oil in it and try to prime it. I'll wait till tomorrow. The other thing I need to do, trying to decide what I want to do here. I'm probably going to go ahead and put the power steering pump and the power steering pump pulley on, and possibly go get a new power steering hose. Alright, I'm going to stop right here for the day. I didn't get as much done today as I wanted to. Tomorrow I'm going to put in the power steering pump. I have a new power steering hose coming. It'll be here first thing in the morning. So the power steering pump, pressure hose, the return hose, that stuff, I'm going to do that stuff tomorrow. I need to put in the transmission cooler lines. Those are going to go in tomorrow. Anyway, just keep plugging away.